Hello, I'm here with three more cards for Polly's Beauty and the Bee collab. I thought I'd share them with you so I can put them over in my stack. I have my first 5 cards in another video. I'm making these into a banner, so each card will be on the banner. So I'll show you this one here. This is number 6. The prompts for this were sunflower and glitter. I did use a little bit of a book page again. I also used a book page for her hair, and that one I picked out the little London is sticking, so I like that one. You can kind of see some of the words, as you probably know. Her hair I did in book page as well, but I watercolored it with like a little bit of a brown watercolor, and then I went over her hair. It's not really showing up on the camera, but I went over her hair with some sparkly watercolor as well. So on top of the brown, I did kind of an iridescent watercolor sparkle. So up close, I gave her little highlights, but you can't really see it on camera, so that's kind of a bummer. But up close, it's there. It's cute. That was, oh, and I gave her a little ribbon. Her ribbons are made out of little yarn scraps, so that was cute to use. And I thought that reminded me of when we were kids and we had those great big, huge ribbons to tie our hair. Those big fat ribbons. That bee had a little sparkle to him, so I thought that one needed to go there. So a little bit more glitter on the bee. The little girl has the glitter in her hair. Her dress has a little glitter sunflower sticker. And then I just used some paper, for her dress backgrounds. The sunflower I crocheted, I think, Marty, I think you sent me this. I want to say, if I'm wrong, I'm really sorry to who sent it to me. I'm not real good at remembering things, but I know that I made stuff from the yarn that was sent to me, and I think I sent it out. And there's only a few people I send mail to consistently, and you're one of them. So I think that one might have come from you, but it had that gold sparkle. Ah, pretty for the center. So the sunflower has some sparkle, some glitter. And then I accented the bottom and the top corners, just kind of off-centering each other's with a little gold glitter and, glue edging. I really think that one came out cute. I actually really like her. I really like this look of the gold on this side. I wish I'd thought of that before, because that would have been a cute element to have in my cards. But, all right, this one, number 7, the color was white, and honey was the prompts. So I made a big scalloped honeycomb punch die cut in the background for the honeycomb there. I also gave her a little bit of, that's the little bead that I put on one of my others. It's like a dangle, but I cut the thing off, and now she's just holding a little bit of the honeycomb. I gave her a white dress that's sparkly, so it would kind of look like the wet of the honey. I also gave her honeycomb hair. And you can't, again, you're not going to be able to see it on the camera real well, but I went over the little lines from the paper with my yellow glitter gel pen. So even her hair has a little bit of sparkle in it, but it's not showing up, but it's there. These were a couple little beads I got in a Happy Mail from Beth. And that's a little vintage tatting that I put back there that I kind of thought looked perfect. It just reminded me of like little drips, the way that looked. So I thought that kind of gave that hint element of little drippy honey. And then the bee came from a little dress that Boo had when she was an itty bitty baby. And it had these little bees with a big bow behind them that snapped on the shoulders. So I just removed the bee from that and I used it here. I keep the parts of her clothes, and so I've never used them in all these years, and this was the perfect project, so I was so excited. And again, the bee had white wings, so that kind of went with the white dress, and I really like this card as well. I think that one is very sweet. So, and I like the big bee. I thought that was, you know, it was kind of simple, and yet the big bee was very cute. So there's that one. Okay, and then for my last one that I have for this round, this is number 8. And it was a positive statement and a beehive. So I kind of had a little fun. So as I was looking around my space for bee things, and surprisingly, I don't have that many. So I must not be that attracted to bee stuff, or I'd have a lot more of it, or whatever. I don't find it on clearance because I hardly ever pay full price for anything. But I did have a package of sewing notion buttons, and this one was the tape measure, and it looked like a beehive to me when I saw it in the package, and I thought, I'm using that as my beehive. So that became the beehive for this prompt. And so then I worked my doll and my scene around that little button. So I took a piece of book page and I tore it by hand, and I just, not anything exciting, but I wanted it to look like a tree trunk. So I took a few different colors of brown gel pens and made a knot, and I think it does give the illusion of a tree, so I was really pleased with that. Came out the way I had envisioned. These were just some extra little leaves off of a silk plant. You know, you keep all that stuff up, so I pulled some of those out and used those as the branches for my tree. These were 3 little stickers that were in a sticker pack, and I used a bit of foam. You can see it there. It was like something that held jewelry. You know, it came in a jewelry box, not a jewelry box that you'd like, but like a jewelry box you'd keep, you know, you'd give, a gift box. And so I just cut off, it was nice and thick, so I cut those little pieces off and I stuck them there so the bees have a little element, the kind of 3D element. I really, when I'm making my little dioramas or things, I like to do that. That's one of the reasons why I like them, because I can make these 3D type elements. So, you know, that's just stealing from earlier ideas. They're very cute. And she has a honeycomb dress, which if you notice is the same as her hair. I cut them both out at the same time, and I liked the honeycomb hair instead of the dress for this doll. I went with the white dress, so I just used the honeycomb dress for this doll. Not some scrap paper I cut her hair out of. That's a sticker from the same little pack as these stickers, so they're all the same, and each sticker had a little bit of a glitter to them, so that's pretty. And for my positive affirmation, I found this. It is in the shelter of each other that the people live. It's an Irish proverb, and I thought that was perfect because the beehive is the shelter for the bees. And I thought that was a great positive affirmation there to remind us that we need each other to survive. So very good. And so those are my 3 cards. 3 more entries. We're on day 8, so we're over halfway there. Yay! And I'll just kind of lay them here so you can see them pretty. Thanks, Polly, for the inspiration. I'm having so much fun making these. I can't even tell you. And, you know, like everyone else, things aren't always rosy, and this has given me a really nice excuse to sit and create outside my own thoughts. You know, I'm thinking about making things, and that's very much why I love to craft, because, you know, why not make things? It just makes the world so much more fun when you're creating. It makes life easier to live when you're making things. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video with my next collection. Goodbye.